It's the two dudes with the attitudes, let's go. On the Friday, you know what it is, man, they came to handle biz. Two dudes with attitudes, and they came to get it in. If you wanna hear it all, yeah, you in the right place. Going through the highs and lows at a pretty calm pace. This is where they talk to all elite, Dynamite and Rampage. All the other news on your timelines or your page. Shooting star press like it's mad side down. MWO, and yeah, they here to hold it down. Had to kick a rhyme just to tell you about the show. From the TikToks or the shorts, they will bring the smoke. And yeah, it's the dudes like it's Sean and it's Diesel. Live on the Twitch, YouTube for the reviews. Show them all the love on the platform you using. 5-star rating now, there is no excuses. Welcome back or welcome for the first show. Two dudes with the attitudes, time to work, bro.
I gotta hang out with this dude, just so you know. Welcome to Dudes Wolfpack, to another episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes, AEW edition. And they basically had another pay-per-view, so we got a lot of things to talk about. We got a Rampage to talk about. We got a Collision to talk about. We got a bunch of matches on Grand Slam to talk about, and we had more cuts too in WWE on the other side of the world, right? A couple more after we were we talking about the male models they got cut.
Mason Mansoor, they were really the only notable ones. What's the guy's name? The guy from he used to be with Apollo Crews, the big guy, General Shanky got cut. He was cut. And then there was a bunch of other people that got cut that I wasn't familiar with, or that I didn't think or NXT was using. So,
I mean, here's the thing, right? I feel bad for everybody who got cut, but all these cuts kind of make sense, right? The Patrick, what up, Patrick? MMM deserves better. I agree.
Maximum Male Models?
Maximum Male Models. They do. And you know, and even Shanky was dancing his little tushy off, and then they were like, he was working, and then they were like, get out of here. By the way, since the Patrick's on here, let's just say me and the Patrick are going to Raw in Ontario, not Toronto, Ontario, California.
Oh, the hometown of Edge.
yeah. On this day, I'm in Cali, and we are gonna go to Monday Night Raw. I'm gonna post about it, talk about it. What you want to talk about? It better be good. I'm going full Dom again. I'm going beast mode. Oh, he got a shirt, Patrick. Is it a surprise, or can I know the shirt? I sent him shirts to get, and he better bought it through our link. You son of a biscuit.
You better.
It's
in the bio. It's in the description.
He better. I told him to. If he didn't, look, he's about to write an awkward text pretty soon. And the Patrick, while you're on, and
I got it from Pro Wrestling Tees.
I got it on Walmart.com. But if also the Patrick, I'm going to put him on blast too. Are you going to the AEW event full gear with us, Patrick? Let me know, because we got to get those tickets. Throw that in our comments too. But anyway, let's get to AEW. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? All right. Are you ready? What song is that? Are you ready? Oh, Lizzo.
Are you ready for some football?
To be loved. Oh, are you ready for some football? They don't do that anymore, do they?
I know, because the guy got canceled. He posted some pretty bad stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the Patrick's only available one of the two nights. All right, I'll get back. We'll talk about it on Monday, Patrick. Whatever. Anyway, that's an Ellen thing. She was canceled too. Let's talk about, by the way, speaking of football, I can't stand the 49ers. And thank you, New York Giant fans, for having the worst team ever. Your quarterback is utter garbage.
Oh.
Did you see that, dude? Like, they have like a video of his face looking at the 49ers defense. What you doing over there? The 49ers defense, and he's like scared. He's like looking at like the D, like, what am I going to do? That dude's worth 160. How much of a contract did he get? 160, something like that.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. And because they had one good year last year, he's had one good year out of 5 bad years, and makes no sense. So he's playing. Playing scared.
The 49ers. He is. The Rams still going to win the division. You'll see. We're a sleeper. You'll see. We put it to the Niners. We should have won last week, by the way. But anyway, all right, let's get into Rampage. You ready? And we're just going to talk about one thing on Rampage. We are we're going to talk about what we talked about last week, which we already knew was going to happen, and that is Kris Statlander versus Jade Cargill. And they had a banger. It was a good match. I thought it was a phenomenal match. I think Jade Cargill is still green, but she looks good. She still did her damn thing. I feel bad because her manager, he hasn't been around at all, right? And the dude's like, I'm back. And then she's obviously on her way out. I'm assuming he's not going with. So
no. Mark
I don't know
Sterling.
what he's doing. Yeah, Mark Sterling. That's right, the lawyer. So I don't know what he's doing. But and sorry. Jade Cargill got a huge pop, man. The crowd was for her. She was doing her thing. I know they missed her. I like that. I like that they were missing her. The match was good. Statlander won. She won clean, but it was, a little bit, she needed a little bit of oof to kind of get that win. And at the end, I thought the hugging and the goodbyes and stuff was after the show. No, it happened live on Rampage. They hugged it out in the middle of the ring. Cargill shaked her hand, left, kind of waved at the crowd, and goodbye, Jade Cargill, straight to hopefully NXT. What do you say? What was this? Is this TK being, because, obviously Tony Khan's a good guy, right? He lets, Phil Brooks shit all over him. He lets people do whatever they want. He lets Jon Moxley call audible in the middle of Rey Fenix matches. He just does whatever. He just allows everybody to do everything. He looks like a kind of, he lets the Jaguars suck it up. He's just that dude. So is it because he's nice, or is this an expiring contract? And how do you feel about Jade Cargill saying goodbye to the AEW universe?
Yeah, everything I've read was that her contract was up, but she had one more match to fulfill on it. Mm-hmm. And so they gave her the rematch against Kris Statlander, which made sense because that's who she lost to. Mm-hmm. It's her only loss in AEW. So it was an expiring contract type deal. But I don't know. There's part of me that's like, can we just why did we bring her back? And I know it's because she had one more match to fulfill on her contract, but she came back the week on Collision, and then after she came back, I mean, everybody was talking about Collision that night and how great it was, mm-hmm. and how great that Jade Cargill was back, and how good it could be for the women's division, and mm-hmm. and then all of a sudden Monday gets here, and Jade Cargill's leaving AEW. She's losing on Rampage. When they put the match on Rampage too, that's when I was like, okay, there's why wouldn't this be on a match on Collision? Why wouldn't this be a match on Dynamite Grand Slam? Why mm-hmm. wouldn't this be a match at a pay-per-view? But when they put it on Rampage, that's when I kind of knew that something was up. But it was just I guess I'm just questioning, could they have just not brought her back and bought out the remainder of her contract? I know she had to fulfill it, I guess, with the last match, but mm-hmm. Did they though? Because it just kind of, it felt deflating that she got that huge pop when she came back. She took out Kris Statlander and her two cronies, and then mm-hmm. and now she's gone. And so it was just, what was the point of bringing her back?
I agree. And can't you fulfill your contract on a dark match? Just have her come and wrestle a dark match and move on with her life. Once again, WWE does this too. They like to end wrestlers on a high note before they usually kick them to the curb, or before the contract. They did it with Edge and so on. But this just felt weird. It felt weird because she hadn't been wrestling, and then she makes her return, and now she's bouncing out.
So it makes me wonder, did something happen behind the scenes? Did that made her unhappy? Because she also did an interview where she said that AEW is the place where she wants to be. Mm-hmm. It's the greatest wrestling. And I get she was technically under contract when she said that, so she had to say it. But mm-hmm. I don't know. She could have no commented. She could have said, she could have said anything. But between that interview and then all the reports coming out that she's going to WWE, it just this match felt deflating, and her being back just felt deflating because I was mm-hmm. so excited to have her back. And then before we could even do an episode last week, it was, hey, Jade Cargill's going to WWE, and just okay.
So, as soon as she rolls into WWE, we're gonna have that Vince McMahon doing the Vince McMahon meme. Jade Cargill is what Vince McMahon wants. Oh yeah, I mean,
she is the prototypical WWE talent.
And rumor has it now that Vince McMahon is a fully in charge of WWE again, and is even going to have say in UFC events. Supposedly, there's some weird what the heck?
But there's also still an investigation, a federal investigation.
Oh, he's going to go to jail at some point. Yeah, but for the time being, yeah, him and his boy are both going to jail. They can shave Bobby Lashley's head or whoever. Well, it wasn't Bobby Lashley's head. Whose face? Oh, it was Vince's hair.
Yeah, it was Vince.
They can shave each other's hair in jail
Bobby
together.
And Trump.
Yeah. Well, Bobby's not going to jail.
No,
but
he did smack Adam Pearce and got fired.
Got fired.
Yeah. So
by the way, but everyone smacked Adam Pearce since and haven't got fired. So I'm just saying, don't want to start the Adam Pearce is racist hashtag. But you're like, huh?
No,
but move it. It's all storyline, y'all. It's jokes. But let's move on to Collision. Let's go to Collision. And Collision, I feel bad for Collision. They tried their best. They had some stuff happen. We had some movement with Ricky Starks. Good for him. Bless his soul. He got a good pin over Bryan Danielson and got to talk some mess afterwards. But what I want to talk about is the elephant in the room, and that is John Silver's arms and wrestling Anthony Bowens. And we had talked about off before we started this podcast is that the Acclaimed, not only being probably the biggest attraction in AEW, I still think they are, but they just beat the House of Black, and the House of Black are legit. They haven't even been seen since. I don't even know what the House of Black is doing. Maybe they're trying to figure out if Mommy does love Dominic or whatever else, but they are literally, all three of them are like in the Scooby, van trying to solve the mystery of Dirty Dom and Mommy. But they beat the House of Black, and now who do they go up against? The Dark Order, who literally, like a couple weeks ago, were baby faces, and now all of a sudden they're heels. They are mad at Hangman Page, so that made them heels, I guess. And so then they got mad at the people buying merch. And then the next week, they're talking about the Acclaimed and how scissoring is disrespectful to kids and fans and this and that. And I have to say, in this match, the best part was John Silver stating, I think I can quote, "I looked up scissoring on the internet and you guys are doing it wrong." And that made me laugh my ass off, because I wonder how many kids who watch AEW who have no idea what scissoring is. I'm not going to say it on this. This is a PG podcast, but scissoring is definitely not two hands doing this. So I thought that was a funny thing. But after that, they had a match. It was actually okay. I actually think Anthony Bowens could have a solo career whenever the Acclaimed are done, which I hope is never. But they had a match, and to me, this was kind of a special match because I don't know if you know, but Anthony Bowens wrote a letter to the AEW fans, kind of talking about his journey into AEW, about how he had a tryout in WWE and how he nailed it and how he was so great. And Triple H wanted to see him, and they brought him to the Performance Center. And I didn't know any of this shit.
Yeah,
they brought him to the Performance Center. Did you read the letter that he wrote?
I did. No? Yeah, it was interesting.
It's very good. And then that he did his thing, but he couldn't cut a promo. And he cut a promo, and they were literally like, William Regal said, "You got 4 out of 5, but your promo is so bad, dude. You need to go back and figure it out." And he admitted, my promo was awful. And he said, "I went to AEW, met a rapper, and then got lucky with Billy Gunn." And the best part about it is that I don't like to get too political on here, but he talked about the fact that AEW allowed him to be who he is, and that's a gay male wrestler and a gay black male wrestler. And that kind of, I don't know, really touched me and made me happy and feel for him, because how hard is that as a wrestler just to be out as a gay male and as a gay black male? And I know we live in a world where people still think, black people have all the same rights, and let's stop. Like a gay wrestler, a gay black wrestler, to have the career he has, and Max Caster is gay as well. I think he's bisexual, but he also flaunts with the boys. So that was really good. And so watching this match and everything, it was a little bit more impactful for me, because I'm like, good for you, Anthony Bowens. You're living your dream when you probably shouldn't have. So good for you. And you're having a phenomenal career. But with that said, why the heck is John Silver pinning Anthony Bowens? I get we have to move the storyline. I get it. You guys are going to say it. Oh, well, why else? And they don't face the Dark Order. But why are they facing the Dark Order? Help me out here. That was the next best triples. We didn't have anybody else to feud with. We got the Dark Order to job to the Acclaimed moving forward right now. And now they're bad guys. And evil Uno now. I mean, now he's evil, right? I don't know. You tell me, because you told me a little bit off before we got on here about how you feel about the Dark Order, why they were created, and why the heck do they even still exist. So
yeah, I used to like the Dark Order when Brody Lee was in charge of it, and when he was the man behind the curtain, if you will, that was leading the Dark Order. And then when he passed, I felt like they kind of kept them going to honor Brody Lee, but now they serve no purpose. Why are they called the Dark Order? What are they doing that's so dark? I'm just not feeling it. And like they got mad at Hangman Page, so I guess now, like you said, they're heels. And yeah, I will say I did like John Silver's little promo before the match where he said that I googled scissoring and you guys are doing it wrong, like you said. I also, going back to Rampage, enjoyed the rock paper scissors segment where they cut that promo. That was all. He's like, it's gonna be scissors. It's gonna be scissors.
We get it. It's gonna be scissors again.
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Who's the long haired guy? Was he always in the Dark Order? Who's that dude?
Yeah, I don't know. He never talks, but
he did there.
Yeah, but so I'm kind of digging it. I guess it's good for what it is, which is comedy gimmicks and comedy careers and comedy matches. But the promos I'm enjoying, the backstage stuff I'm enjoying, but the match itself, his name, Alex Reynolds. But yeah,
always Patrick for the save. Thank you.
I'm just not feeling.
I'm not good with names, and but you're not feeling this. Yeah,
I'm not feeling this feud. I kind of feel like it's a filler feud, and it's gotta lead to something bigger. But the thing is who's left in the trios division other than House of Black? CMFTR is gone. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, or Young Bucks and Adam Page, is that next for them? But they're doing their thing. Swerve Strickland. I don't know. Like who is there to feud with in the trios division?
I'm just dancing to that Swerve Strickland song in my head. That song is fire, bro.
It is a dope song.
Well, here's the thing. That's why we shouldn't have a trios division. And that's why I was anti the trio. We are beautiful, B-roll, just like you. Thank you so much. We got our two biggest fans on here. What is up, the Patrick and Mr. B-roll? But yeah, and I told you Patrick was a huge fan. That's why he knew Alex Reynolds off the top of his head.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, how do you not know him? He's my fourth favorite Dark Order member. I don't know. It is what it is. The trios, it is, but at least the Acclaimed are champs are doing something, and they have the coolest belts ever created. So,
and then they have the ROH 6-man tag titles too. Like,
which is a trios, but they call it 6-man.
Yeah, like why do we have two? Like, combine those titles, combine them.
And they're about to lose them. Who are they losing them to? They're about to defend. Swerve is about to lose to, and they just announced there's two random Swerve members I didn't know about in the Mobile Embassy. Who are the two other guys that he just ran? I haven't seen in 8 years, and all of a sudden now they're still in the Mobile Embassy. Yeah, AEW. That's what they do. Oh, look at the comments. So Dark Order is the best, and Rush, Drell Listico, and Preston Vance. That's yikes. Yeah. Where have these guys been? Where I have not. If they were in WWE right now, they would be cut. Just so you all know. I'm too soon. All right, let's move on. What else do you like on Rampage?
We'll have to edit that out. We're live.
All right. Dang it. All right, go ahead. What else did you like on Collision? Let's forget what I said.
We talked off air about Kris Statlander, and after she beat Jade Cargill on Rampage, she had a main event match on Collision against none other than Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And so the match was fine. I enjoyed it. There was too many finishers that she kept kicking out of. I mean, she kicked out of a curb stomp. She kicked out of the one-winged angel that nobody kicks out of. She kicked out of a bunch of finishers, and it was just a finisher fest after a while. But
yeah,
the match was fine. We were talking, like, I feel like AEW is giving Statlander all of these really good opponents, but she still just feels like a meh champion in my book. So, she's beaten Jade Cargill now twice. She has a win over Ruby Soho. She has a win over the Britt Baker, who you could say is the face of the women's division, maybe a pillar of the organization. She has and how many times did we ask for a Britt Baker versus Jade Cargill match? How many times did we want to see Jade Cargill versus Ruby Soho for the TBS Championship? How many times did we want to see? We got to see Jade Cargill versus Kris Statlander twice, and now we're like, it just feels like they're giving her these matches, but they're not giving her any story. They're not giving me a reason to invest in her. They're not giving me a reason to care, other than, hey, she's wrestling the face of the women's division. She's wrestling, one of the outcasts. She's wrestling, Jade Cargill again. So, I like that they're trying to give her good opponents, but they need to give her more, because she just still feels like a meh champion in my book.
I actually think it's Kris Statlander who is the meh. And to be honest with you, I mean, what does she bring? Who is she? Who's Kris Statlander?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see.
We don't know
B-roll
what's
and
her
Patrick
character.
Love. Yeah, who is she? They love AEW. Who's Kris Statlander? She don't really talk. She don't really have anything. I mean, she's just a girl. I complained about her winning the belt off of Jade when she did. I didn't think it was a smart decision, and I think I've been proven right. And I know that AEW has an issue booking champions, minus like Orange Cassidy and Jade Cargill. Who have they really booked? And Kenny Omega's world champ. Who have they booked successfully as a champion? There hasn't been many. Usually when they get the straps, it's like, who's FTR wrestling right now, by the way? Oh, that's right. Random dudes from New Japan and other. We get these champions and we don't book them. They don't feel important, right? Nobody feels like Roman Reigns feels. Nobody feels even like how Seth Rollins feels. Shoot, no one feels like Gunther in AEW. So they don't know how to book champions. So I get that. But Statlander's not helping herself either. And honestly, I thought it was a mistake to have her win. I thought this was now.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have Britt win eventually, which you probably are, why not in her hometown? Just let her win, man. Like, I think it made sense. I think it would have made Collision feel important, and that TBS title would feel important. It hasn't felt important since Jade. And then you can have Britt do a run. This is the best she's ever looked. Adam Cole is successful right now. I don't feel like they're going to WWE yet. I think they both will. And I just feel like I don't know. I just felt like it would have been a good time to have it. So, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think it would have been the right decision to have Britt Baker win. But the thing too, she beat Britt Baker clean. So there was no, they've been trying to tell this story of Sheeta and Britt Baker, having like a mini feud, like a little secondary feud in the women's division. And she beats her clean. Like, you could have at least had Sheeta come out and cost Britt Baker the match, or inadvertently do something to make it. Was it an accident? Was it intentional? Something. And then you kind of tell that story, or put the belt on Britt Baker and have her turn massive heel and let her go on a big heel run, because she needs something too. Yeah. She needs something too.
And she does need a heel run. I mean, her baby face run she was an alien. That's right. She is just see, that's what I mean. So no else taken. Another one of our biggest fans. Yeah. Kris, I'm just not, I don't know. I'm not getting it. I know she did a roll up through a submission, through Britt's submission move, and so it was kind of like not a win-win, but it was clean. She had a roll up, but still, I thought that was a good chance. Maybe Britt will win eventually and turn that heel that we've been hoping for. But let's talk about some positives in AEW, right? You ready? And that's Dynamite Grand Slam. I actually thought this was a banger of a show. This is a pay-per-view I would have bought. They always have pay-per-views that I like afterwards. I'm like, I wouldn't buy that. This was like a good pay-per-view Dynamite. We had 5 matches happening. And you know what, y'all? We're going to talk about all 5. Are you ready? We're going to go down. Sir. That's how good it was. That's how important it was. All right, let's talk about some Eddie Kingston defending his New Japan Pro Wrestling Iron Man type. What champion is he again? He's like the everyman, everyday champ. Either way,
he's against the IWGP Strong Champion.
Strong, whatever. Against Claudio for his ROH World Heavyweight Championship. So he's the main cheese. Title versus title. And I'm going to say it right here, and I'm about to get some flack because I'm assuming no else take it is also an AEW fan. I'm assuming everybody listening is like diehard, because I'm an AEW fan. I'm just not diehard. But Eddie Kingston I have never liked Eddie Kingston. I'm not an Eddie Kingston fan. I woke up to Patrick this morning with a text saying that Eddie Kingston sucks. I'm not going to go against it. I have nothing against Eddie Kingston as a human, as a wrestler. All right. No else taken is not a diehard. All right. Good for you, my man. But I have nothing against him. If I saw him in the streets, I'd buy him a beer. I think it'd be fun to hang out with Eddie Kingston. But as a professional wrestler, once again, what does he... So he wouldn't have a drink with me, Patrick. Is that what you're saying? Here's the thing, right? He's just a drunken New Yorkan. That's his gimmick, and that's his wrestling style. He has no cool moveset, nothing. And we just gave him double champ Conor McGregor status. And now he is also the ROH World Champion, which is like, you know, pretty up there with MJF, I believe. I just don't. I don't get Eddie Kingston, but he beat Claudio. The match was meh. And that's how I feel about that. What do you feel? You're going to disagree with me here? I know Patrick would if he was a guest, but I don't get Eddie Kingston. I never have. I've been telling Patrick since AEW started, I don't get Eddie Kingston. I don't get it.
Yeah. The thing I like about Eddie Kingston is he doesn't play a character. He is who he is, and he gets to be himself on TV. But yeah, I'm not. His moveset and everything is just kind of. I don't even know what his finisher is. I don't know. Like I can't tell you what it is. But I thought this was his best match in AEW so far. Thought it was a great way to open the show. You made the crowd happy. You had Eddie Kingston win a title in his hometown. So the crowd was, started off hot for Dynamite. But I don't know how much of that was Claudio carrying him. But you could also tell that these two guys genuinely do not like each other. There were a couple of times where I'm like, is this match turning into like a shoot fight? There was a couple of times where you could hear Claudio like yelling at Eddie, and it was like, slow down or something like it was, and Eddie was just staring at him, and then they were like exchanging slaps, and then Eddie Kingston just popped him in the jaw, and like I don't know if that was supposed to happen or if that was real or if that was part of the story, but because these guys
are best friends. Aren't they best friends though in real life?
They were.
Isn't everything. But that's real, or is that just
I think
fake?
it is.
I don't know. I thought it was just because he's supposed to be a drunken New Yorkan. I think he's literally supposed to be drunk while fighting. I think that's the whole gimmick, right? He had 3 shots of whiskey before he came out, and now he's ready to rumble. He's like your drunken uncle at your like kid's birthday party. That's Eddie Kingston. So,
but yeah, I mean, I thought the match itself was fine. It was a good way to open the show, but yeah, that's really all I have about Eddie Kingston. He's the ROH World Champion now, and he's got 2 belts.
Yes, he is. 2-belt Eddie. And he was supposed to, that was going to be the only title change. We're going to open up a title change and have no more for the rest of the night. But we'll get to that later. Next up, you called this, my man.
Yeah,
you predicted this
like proud of myself.
months ago. This is your second calling it. Good for you. I ain't called shit.
Nostradamus over here.
Podcast. Yeah. Right? You're the Simpsons, bro. No, they do. They call it more than Nostradamus. But we had Chris Jericho defeat Sammy Guevara in what I thought was a pretty damn good match. Obviously, the Patrick thinks Chris Jericho's the GOAT. He's easily top 10, I think, nowadays. But Sammy Guevara is that dude as well. They had a great match. And after the match, Sammy Guevara hugs him, kicks him in the ding-ding. And as Chris Jericho is holding his babies, out walks Don Callis, and then they leave. And they have a backstage promo later, and Don Callis says you have to tune into Rampage because that's where we're gonna, find out big results. Here's my thing. I like the match. The turn is whatever. But here's the thing. Just a kick in the ding-ding. AEW does this a lot, where they have a guy turn, and he doesn't do anything. Remember Don Callis, like foot kicked, Kenny Omega when he turned on him or whatever. It was like one kick to the face and he was like, that's it. Like Chris Jericho is an all-time great. You think a ding-ding shot's going to put him out for a day and a half? Like that's like when like Shawn Michaels was like a special guest referee and he got knocked off the apron. Then he didn't get up for like 40 minutes. And I'm like, dude, you get knocked off the apron randomly in matches. Now all of a sudden you can't get up from it. Like I'm very confused by that. I thought Sammy should have put it to him. Like if you're going to turn with Don Callis, why not both when Don Callis came out, beat the crap out of him? That's the only thing I thought was a miss. But other than that, Chris Jericho being, a baby face and Sammy being a bad guy, I think works as a heel. B-roll saying over here that he thought the turn was done very well. I don't know. I thought you're gonna turn. I don't got to see blood, but I at least got to see an ass whooping. I mean, my son kicks me in the ding ding for fun. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I don't know.
It was. I thought it was
a good match though.
I didn't like that Chris Jericho got the win. I didn't think he needed to win. Maybe it's part of the story that they're telling, and Sammy's going to get his revenge and take Jericho officially out. But I kind of felt like Jericho didn't need the win. But I did like the heel turn. I thought the heel turn was a callback to when Jericho turned on Shawn Michaels. And even Sammy Guevara had a similar jacket to what Chris Jericho was wearing, the light bright jacket, and and then he did everything the exact same way with the low blow to Shawn Michaels, with the low blow to Chris Jericho. So I thought it was done well in that way, because AEW's been doing really well with the little random callbacks. We've talked about this before with the Steiner Math promo.
I agree.
The Bret Hart thing that they did in earlier this on the MJF right before his title match against Samoa Joe. He did the Bret Hart callback where he gave the kid the scarf and Bret Hart gave the kid the sunglasses. There's been a bunch of little callbacks, and this one was good. And I did call it. I knew that I had a feeling Don Callis was going to do something and Sammy Guevara was going to turn on Jericho, but I liked the way it was done. I'm curious to see where it goes. And Sammy Guevara is now a heel, which means, again, proves my theory right, that if you feud with MJF, you'll be a heel in 3 to 6 months. I say it every time. Now we have heel Ricky Starks. We have heel Brian Danielson, heel John Moxley, heel Jungle Boy, heel Sammy Guevara now. He'll see
Adam Cole's next, baby.
Yeah,
that's
Adam
Cole's going heel.
He's going. Yeah, and Jericho turned heel after feuding with MJF.
He just broke his heel, but he's going heel. Yeah,
he'll be the next heel. So feud with MJF and you'll be a heel, and Sammy Guevara just proved that.
Well, and Sammy needs to be a heel, like what Noel's taking just threw up on the comment. He's got to be a heel because good-looking dudes people don't like, right? Sorry to break it to you all. That's why everybody hates me, right? You're a good-looking cat. People are gonna hate on you. Sammy Guevara's that dude, and he's just better as a heel, man. I mean, he don't go back to tongue kissing your girlfriend on stage. That was stupid. But other than that, he's been a pretty solid heel. And I agree with you. With everything that you said and the turn. I like the HBK callback, and they even said it. That he wore that. They said it on the announcing and so on. So I did appreciate that. Jericho's doing his dang thing. I'll admit it. Now let's go into a match that was pretty good. And as soon as I announce it, we're going to go through and clarify everything. So we had Rey Fenix versus Jon Moxley for the international title, and the internet exploded because they assumed that Rey Fenix had knocked Jon Mox out with his finisher and then did it again to his limp body. So I watched this match. I watched it a few times to make sure it was all and so basically what happened was that right off the bat, Phoenix attacks Jon Moxley and injures him before the match even starts, gave him a concussion. You can literally see Jon Moxley wobbling all over the place. Rey Fenix, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. You're a professional wrestler. When a guy's knocked out and he can't get up, you don't just pick him up and continue to beat the crap out of him, put moves on him. But you could tell he was knocked out. So at this point, supposedly, because I'm not Jon Moxley, in his head, he thought, I'm hurt. I'm injured. I'm not going to continue to wrestle, so I'm going to call an audible. I just want to state that I'm against that. I don't think you should ever do that. I didn't even like that Peyton Manning did that all the time with his coaches. I just feel like, you do what you're told, right? It's like a drill sergeant, right? You're told to do this. That's what you do, right? It is what it is. You win, you lose, you figure it out, okay? So Mox, I think, should have still won. But basically what happened was that he called the audible, told Rey Fenix to take the win, pin me. No one told the referee. Rey Fenix puts him in his move, Powell drives him, and Moxley does not kick out, and the ref doesn't count to 3 because the ref has no idea. Moxley then proceeds, and you can see him, if you watch the match, his eyes are open, he's looking at him, and he's yelling at the referee. So then Moxley berades the referee, basically telling him, do your fucking job, and excuse my language, do your damn job, and do the pin. So Rey Fenix puts him in a move again, and this time the ref counts, and Rey Fenix is the champion, which I think is awful. I mean, I know y'all love Penta and Rey Fenix, but as the champ, we went from Orange Cassidy having one of the greatest championship runs ever to Moxley getting it, which was going to be fun, to Mox calling an audible on his own and giving the belt to Rey Fenix. I don't know. But the match itself was good, but ending and everything and the ref making the mistake. And I mean, it was a hot damn mess, which we're kind of getting accustomed to in AEW, no offense. I mean, we won't even talk about backstage promos with take 2 and 22 and not like, I mean, AEW, man, like you want to be WWE, look WWE. WWE don't be making mistakes like this.
No. And yeah, they for sure wouldn't call an audible like that. They would.
No.
That's why I feel like these guys, they call the matches on the fly, and they don't, I don't know how WWE works, but I have a feeling in AEW, they all call their matches on the fly. They don't rehearse, they don't practice, they don't go over things beforehand and say, okay, I'm going to do this at this point, and then you hit me with this, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, it looked really sloppy on TV, and you could hear the crowd booing when the referee counted, and Jon Moxley clearly did not get the shoulder up, but he just stopped counting, and it was a bad look. It looked sloppy. Crowd didn't know what was going on, and then for him to hit that move again, that pile driver, that the first one that he hit looked rough, and I thought originally we all thought that was the move that hurt Jon Moxley in the first place, that knocked him out, and then he did it again, and it's just like, what are you doing? But then you watch the match back. He clearly was like wobbling all over the place from the very beginning of the match. I think he took a bump outside of the ring or something, and like a boot to the face or something. And now it's just, I mean, Jon Moxley, I love Jon Moxley. He was the MVP of AEW last year. Every time, there's a backstage issue, he's the guy that they call upon to come and save the day. He main evented All Out this year when CM Punk got fired, and Jon Moxley is a good person in AEW, but let him go on that vacation that you promised him. It's time for him to take some time away from AEW. It sucks that it takes a concussion. It's been ruled as a mild concussion, so I guess that's promising. But it sucks that it takes a concussion for him to get out of the ring. He needs to take a break. He needs 3-4 months off. Bring him back in the new year or something. He needs, because this is good. He already came out and did an interview that says he has the arthritis of a 70-year-old man, and he's only 36 or 37. So he needs to slow down. And
he needs to come back and have smarter matches. He needs to stop cutting himself constantly. He needs to stop. And this is okay. Perfect. This is what I was going to say too, is that the dude had a concussion. He obviously knew that's what it was a head injury. Why the heck are you going to do your finishing power driver move on him? WWE rule of thumb is there no accidents, count to 3, reverse the decision late. Yes, 100%. 100%. You do not call an audible. I thought that was unprofessional, Mox. Everyone's praising him for it. I thought it was unprofessional. You do what you're told. You're not bigger than TK. The end. You're not bigger than who's telling you how to do your job. And I didn't like that he did 2 more head moves on him. Yeah. His head did hit the mat. He could have injured him even more, Ray Phoenix. Wake up.
That was bad.
As soon as he calls the audible, you say, I'm going to do it with a moonsault or a clothesline or I'm going to roll you up in a pin, anything. Why are you going to do it and then do it twice? Like, wake up, AEW wrestler. I don't know. I just feel like this is what happens, right? It's what happened with WCW. You let the wrestlers decide everything. Bad stuff happens. That's why you need bosses. That's why we have parents, bosses, it's why we have people above us to make decisions. But nonetheless, we'll see where this goes. Let's go to another match, which I was confused by. Soraya wrestled Toni Storm. And I guess Toni Storm now is 100% not in the Outcast anymore. They're still selling her shirts, as she came out to some weird music. She's now a Hollywood. I knew she was doing the Hollywood thing, but she came out with black and white and awful music and not in green. And so her and Soraya, they slapped her. I was so flipping confused. Did I miss when they said she wasn't in it anymore? Because I thought she was still in it. Because last I heard, she accidentally cost Ruby her match, and that was really it. Now she's not. I don't like this gimmick at all. I love Toni Storm. I think she's a success. I think she's phenomenal. I think she's so talented. If this is her idea, Toni Storm, then maybe this is why we need writers. Freddie Prinze says it all the time. He wrote for WWE, but he only wrote for the people that needed it. Not everybody needs a writer, but not everybody doesn't need a writer. Some people need help. Just because you're a wrestler doesn't mean you are phenomenal at ideas and booking. And this usually is the problem with AEW. Can Chris Jericho book? Sure. Adam Cole and MJF? Why not? John Mox? Okay. But that doesn't mean that Toni Storm can. That doesn't mean that the Dark Order can book their own matches. You don't know. Like, I thought this match for one was meh. The right person won, but I'm just very confused on what we're doing with the Outcasts here. What they're dead, right? Because Saraya and Ruby didn't even really. Now they're just like homies. But this perfect time for Britt Baker to join. But I was very confused by all this. It kind of caught me off guard. No explaining.
Yeah, and there was a promo on Collision where they interviewed Toni Storm, and she was in it was like a black and white interview type thing, and she's doing like the Hollywood starlet type, and she's being a complete diva. Like, is this the best light that we have? You know, that kind of thing. So I don't know. People seem to be digging it. Right now I'm kind of meh on it. I want to see more. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see what's going on. But in that promo on Collision, she was talking about how, you know, she still thinks she's in good with the Outcasts. She doesn't think she's done anything wrong with the Outcasts, even though she's cost them matches, and you know, she's so I don't.
She had no green on. She just like
rolled in. So I think that's like, she thinks she's cool, but the Outcasts don't want her in there anymore, type thing. But she still thinks she kind of like Sami Zayn in the Bloodline, where they didn't want him there for the longest time, and he came out there with them anyway. But yeah, I want to see this through because I know fans are kind of digging it. They're kind of digging this new character for Toni Storm, and you know, her antics and everything with the shoe throwing, and you know, people seem to be enjoying it. It's something different for AEW, so I'll give them that. So I'll see it through. But I am glad that Saraya won. I am glad that she won, I think. But now the question is what's next? Do we get Storm in them again? Do we get Britt Baker into the picture? Do we get Kris Statlander? Like, what's next in the women's division? Because they really haven't built anybody else up.
Well, the women's division's always lacked, but yeah. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not digging into any Storm, but maybe I will one day. Let's get into the match of the night. You ready? The main event. This wasn't title versus title. This was just MJF's title. So we got Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus Samoa Joe. And Adam Cole eventually made an appearance. They had a backstage or pulling up in a Porsche promo where Adam Cole had to leave because Roderick Strong was talking about how he's going to die. And he visited Roderick Strong in the hospital. Oh, no, that was the other event. That was Collision. And with his neck injury, that was pretty funny when he rolled up in the bed and he's like, leave then. You can go. And then he rolled back down.
I thought that was funny.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. But this match was phenomenal. I thought this was an A-star match, 5-star, A+. This match was a banger. I thought they both did. I was surprised by the ending. I did not think Samoa Joe would get choked out. I thought that was just like a no way happening. Samoa Joe took that choke out, shook his hand, and left like a man. I don't know if now Samoa Joe is going back to ROH and he did his time in AEW. Hopefully not, because Samoa Joe is that guy. But this was great. The only problem is, what's next? This didn't build anything. It looked like him and Samoa Joe are done now. It didn't build for the next person. I know they're going to defend their ROH titles, but for those of you who don't know, Adam Cole was running down the stage and jumped to the lower part of the stage. And I guess since he only weighs 110 pounds, he landed on his ankle and something happened. We don't know what the injury is, but he obviously got injured because he was limping the rest of the time. So who knows what's going to move on with that. Now is this whole gimmick going to be gone? And Roderick Strong, from him just jumping, like AEW can't even have wrestlers jump without getting injured. I don't know what the heck's going on. But Maxwell Jacob Friedman is still your champ. And it doesn't look like he's feuding with Adam Cole next. Is it going to be Roderick Strong? I don't know where we're going with this, but it better not be another tournament. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's my big trouble with AEW right now is they haven't built anybody. You know, I just told you, like, who's next for Saraya in the women's division? We don't know. Who's next for John Moxley in the I guess Ray Phoenix now with the International Championship? We don't know. What's Orange Cassidy doing? We don't know. What's next?
Teaming up with Hook, right?
Who are the next opponents for the Trios Championships after the Dark Order? We don't know. That's kind of the thing with AEW right now. They have some good stuff going on, but they're not planning for the future. So we don't know what's next for MJF. We don't know is Adam Cole going to get another shot? Is he Is this going to lead to something? Did they have that Wrestle Dream pay-per-view coming up? Are they going to have a match there? What's happening with the ROH tag team titles? Like, there's a lot more questions than answers, but that match was phenomenal. It was definitely MJF, man. I know a lot of people don't like him because he never defends his championship and he's never there. And, you know, but when the man shows up, his matches are bangers. Every match that he's in, all of them. I don't think you can name a bad MJF match. The Iron Man match against Bryan Danielson was phenomenal. The strap match, the dog collar match against CM Punk was great. All of his matches against Punk were great. Adam Cole matches were fantastic. Every match with MJF have been bangers. So he deserves a lot of credit. He is the face of the company right now. He is the MVP of this company. He is a damn good babyface, a better babyface than I thought he was going to be. And I'm really digging MJF. And Samoa Joe, kudos to him. The man is a phenomenal heel. And I hope this isn't the last we see. I want him to drop the ROH title and come over to Wednesday nights and Saturday nights permanently.
I agree. I think he should. And I think he will. He's bigger than ROH. So yeah, we will see. But overall, Grand Slam was awesome. I mean, I know we had the Mox mishap and I was confused about Tony Storm. But other than that, great night for AEW. Congratulations.
The ratings were really good too. These were some of their best ratings that they've had. That's what the reports are saying. Yeah, that they Jericho, Tony Khan, and MJF did a lot of like media coverage and interviews and stuff going into it. So they did a lot of like hype. And so the crowd was on fire, and then the ratings, people showed up and watched. So kudos to them.
That's good. Deservingly. I mean, they throw on a free pay-per-view basically. I mean, you deserve the ratings. So, and without CM Punk.
Yeah, they don't.
All right. They don't. No one does. And now it's like 100% hinting at him going to WWE. Oh, we'll see. All right. You ready for our segment? Yeah, he will. We'll see. You ready, dude? Our segment time. We are doing true or false. And that's when we are going to give each other.
It's damn true.
Oh, yeah.
False.
I love that.
We haven't done one in so long. I forgot you had a thing for it. True or false. This is where we each are going to give each other some scenarios, and we are going to say if that will happen in the future, true or false. As always, we start off with Mr. Sami Zayn's.
I wish I looked like Sammy Guevara.
Don't we all? Dude is hot. I'm a straight male.
Yeah, he's a handsome man.
Dude is very. Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, if my wife cheated on me with him, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be like, details.
So is he good or what?
Yeah, fill me in. All right,
you're up.
All right, I'll go first. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the releases yesterday in WWE. But after all the releases that occurred on Thursday in the WWE, and with all the uncertainty surrounding the WWE with TKO and Endeavor, and is Triple H in or out of creative? Is Vince running the show? Yada, yada, yada. With all that uncertainty and all the releases, AEW talent will be a little bit more apprehensive about signing with WWE in the future.
I am going to say true.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
I think they should be. I think this is already on cue of how the UFC runs their organization. They made a big deal with USA to have SmackDown go over for whatever billions of dollars and instantly cut wrestlers. Now, do these wrestlers were pointless and probably in a business standpoint needed to be cut? Sure. I'm not saying any of these people should not have a job, and I think they're all talented, and I think it sucks.
Yeah,
but I also think they'll all recover and move on as well because there's so many opportunities now in wrestling. But this is like the UFC MO, and I think what they're going to do now is don't be surprised if you start seeing this isn't just like a Dana White thing where he underpays his fighters and makes a ton of money that he pockets himself. That's the American way, bros. If you don't know, that's how CEOs and companies work, man. They make $1 billion and everybody else makes diddly squat. And I think that's what we're going to start seeing. I think these $10 million contracts with Brock Lesnar's and stuff like that are going to start disappearing. I think you're going to start seeing people getting underpaid. And I think this TKO deal is going to hurt the WWE in the long run. I didn't think it, but it already is looking like it. So, yeah, I think these AEW guys are going to stick around. And I think you're going to see a lot of WWE guys bouncing. I mean, Becky Lynch might be first.
Yeah, you think so? Think she might
Her
leave?
contract's up in like a couple months.
Yeah, there's reports that Drew McIntyre's contract, Sheamus's contract are up.
Becky Lynch,
maybe, yeah. And if she goes, does Seth Rollins go? So there's.
I'm telling you,
yeah.
TKO, they're all about just making money. They're not about the product. But
it kind of makes me wonder, like, nothing's official until I see her on TV. But does Jade Cargill really go to WWE with all this news, or does she back out at the last minute and say, Tony Khan, let me sign the dotted lines?
You know what I'm saying? You never know.
Yeah. Until I see her, I won't believe it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Mox called an audible and had himself lose in a match. So, true or false? False. True or false? True or false? True or false? Mox will now move on from the international title.
False.
I think it's 100% false. I think when he comes back, whenever he'll probably be back next week, but whenever he comes back, I think they're going to put that title right back on him. I think I could see them, and maybe they'll make it a story or turn this referee thing into a storyline and have Moxley like berate the referee, or somebody's like that the win wasn't legit, or something. I don't know. But maybe have the BCC take out that referee they're going to continue doing that until he gets his rematch. I think they wanted it. There's a reason they took it off Orange Cassidy to put it on Jon Moxley. And so I don't think Rey Fenix is going to have that belt for too long. I think they're going to put it right back on him.
Just put it right. Then that even makes less sense on why Mox called the audible. So,
yeah.
All right. What you got?
All right. Let me go. Okay, this one's pretty easy for you, but Edge will sign with AEW and be the one to take the TNT title off of Luchasaurus / Christian.
I like it. I don't know if it's easy. I don't really know if Edge is going to.
Again, we just talked about people bouncing.
I know. All right, I'm going to say true.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
And I'm going to say it's true because my next one has to do with this as well. So I'm going to counter you. But yeah, I mean, why not, right? I mean, if Edge still wants to wrestle, the thing is that he's old. I mean, I know he's still in good shape, but he looks old. He had that awful surgery. He came back and had a good little second run. I think he should have been the heavyweight champion in WWE. I'm ashamed that they didn't give it to him when he came back. But they even gave it to Sean for a couple months when he came back. But other than that, I mean, if he's going to keep going, heck yeah, I want him to end it with Christian. So yes, please. But he needs to be in AEW for a while. He cannot do a one-off because that's pointless. You can't be in WWE for 20 years and then come roll into AEW for 1 second. That's like Aaron Rodgers on the Jets. It just doesn't make sense.
4 plays.
But
no, I think it's true. I think it's true that he's coming to AEW, but there's part of me that feels like maybe he's next for MJF, or they're going to put him in the world title picture right away to give MJF another big rub against a big. But then again, it's babyface versus babyface. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think he should be the one to take the title off of MJF. I think that should still be Adam Cole. But I could see MJF and Edge really having bangers, and So,
all right. The last one. You ready?
Yeah.
Speaking of, it was just announced there's going to be a triple threat match between Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Darby Allin. True or false? Christian Cage is winning the TNT title officially in the triple threat match.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Yeah, that's happening. I do like this thing that they're doing where he's proclaiming to be the champion, even though he's not the champion. Luchasaurus is the champion. I do like the whole, like when he was feuding with Punk, he was like, one thing I never do is I never say I'm something that I'm not, even though he says it. So yeah, I do like what they're doing with Christian Cage, but I think it's time that they officially put that TNT Championship on him. That title is, I feel like they're slowly starting to bring some prestige back to it and some relevance back to it. And it's not because of Luchasaurus, even though he's the one technically holding it. It's because of the man holding the microphone, Christian Cage, in his heel gimmick. So, yeah, I think he's 100% winning it. And Luchasaurus is going to get, maybe he turns babyface and turns on Christian Cage.
Maybe, or he's just like the muscle moving forward. But, I mean, I think it has been good. I just don't think it's completely working. I think Christian Cage is going to win it. I think AEW is kind of like, what else do we do with this? Yeah, he's the champ. Let's just have him be the champ. They should have given it to him right off the bat because he wrestled right before Luchasaurus did. But Christian Cage, man, that dude cuts even his promos when he's not really trying hard. Like, he even did the little thing where he was like, so are you going to accept our 2-on-1 handicap, our triple threat match or not? Like, I just love, like, everything he says is just such a subtle, smart little heel move. And yeah, man, Christian Cage for TNT champion 2024. Let's go. I'm loving it. I am loving it. All right. Yeah, that's it. That's AEW. AEW. They had a pretty decent week. So yeah, let's see what's going on moving forward. Let's see where they go. They got a lot of things they got to go continue on with, right? What are we doing with everything and with the Acclaimed and with the titles and champions? And
we got this Wrestle Dream pay-per-view, and they need to get their stuff on HBO Max pronto. So
they do. They do. And yeah,
just need to take steps in the right direction and stop with the locker room stuff.
Yeah, and let's stop with the confusing Miro stuff. What happened with Miro again and his wife? He talked about it. I didn't understand anything he was saying. I was like, wait, what? Is he saying they're not married? I'm so confused. So I just remember
he's mad at Powerhouse Hobbs again. Yeah, it's just
I'm so I was like, huh? And then we haven't seen her since. So what does it matter? She's with Wardlow and Homegirl. What's Homegirl? That never came back. I forgot her name.
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa. Does anybody know what happened to her?
Yeah.
I know she's on that, but did she talk about it? Does she talk about why she's on an AEW? Is she still injured?
I guess.
I know she had a bad injury, but I don't know. Weird stuff. But anyway, that's it, y'all. We'll see you next time we're on for AEW. As always, tune in. Thank you. We got a lot of comments today. I like it. Keep subscribing. Keep telling your friends about it. Anybody you know that watches wrestling, tell them to tune in to the hottest pro wrestling podcast in the world, Two Dudes with Attitudes. As always, I'm the dude of Wrestle Talk, Mr. MWO. And with me is...
I'm the honorary dude, Mr. Shooting Star Press. We are on the YouTube, as everybody knows. That's where you're watching us. So go subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Go leave some comments. Tell us how we're doing. If you have some true false statements that you want us to do on the air, go email us at twodudeswithattitudespodcast@gmail.com. And Patrick doesn't need to be the only one to buy from our WWE merch from our affiliate link. You all can join in on the fun too. There's a lot of sales right now. There's a bunch of 25% off sales on WWE.com. So click the link in our bio or in the description and go get you some WWE merch.
Yes, sir. Go get it. Hey, thank you. Noel Steak, and I appreciate you. Thank you, Wolfpack. As always, two dudes. We out.
It's the two dudes with the attitudes. Let's go. On the Friday, you know what it is. Man, they came to handle biz. Two dudes with attitudes.